Hi everyone, I'm Todd Nauck. Welcome to my latest Facebook broadcast, The Art of Todd Nauck Show, Episode 4. This time I'm drawing Raven. I was thinking of drawing Raven from the Teen Titans cartoon on a gray post-it note. This is pretty much what we call kind of a cool down sort of sketch. I've been working on Deadpool all day today, and I've wrapped up my work, and so now I'm just going to kind of just draw a little something for fun as I segue out. Now I know I posted on my different social media I'd be starting this show at 6:45. I know I'm running a bit late, but I appreciate you all joining me here today. I see many of you coming into the broadcast now, so glad you're here. And what I'm going to do, as always, and especially if you're new to my broadcasts, do an illustration. You're welcome to post comments and questions. I'll do my best to check out your questions as I draw. Can't promise I can answer every question, but I'll do my best. So know that a lot of my focus is going into the art, and I always appreciate y'all's support and understanding. So welcome everyone. Thanks for the comments there, and also thanks for the likes as well. So let's get cracking. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. So if you're a long-time follower of my work, you probably remember I did the comic book series based on the original Teen Titans cartoon. It's called Teen Titans Go. We were the original Teen Titans Go comic book based on the first cartoon, the adventure cartoon. They now use the Teen Titans Go for the humor cartoon. So there's two different Teen Titans Go series. We were the first one. Written by Jay Torres. It was a lot of fun to do. It was a really fun comic series. What color is this post-it note? It is a gray post-it note. It's one of Post-it did a series of post-it notes based on the colors based on cities across the world, and this one's from the NYC pack that a follower of my work goes by Sonic_Ninja. I believe that's his handle. Gifted these to me at New York Comic Con last year, just to give me some new colors as opposed to all the other colors I use regularly. I really like the gray and the blue that came in this NYC pack. Was really a great shade of blue. Actually I prefer it over all the other shades of blue in the regular post-it packs. Let's see, do I select the characters who get drawn on the streams? Yes, I do. Yes, I do select the characters. Just whichever character I feel like drawing. Sometimes I'll consider people's requests, but I get so many requests. I certainly can't accommodate them all. So definitely consider people's suggestions, but oftentimes it's a character that I feel inspired to draw or have an inkling of wanting to draw. One thing I liked about drawing the Teen Titans Go series was drawing in the animated style. I did my best to stay on model and make it look like the cartoon, but I like that I was able to infuse my own flavor into the animated style for the comic book. So I wasn't restricted to making it look exactly like the comic book. Just close enough. When I draw comics, do I draw at my own studio, or do I need to be in person at Marvel or the DC offices, studios? I work out of my own studio here in California. I've currently been working for Marvel the past 2.5 years. Um, Recently, since after I did my stint with Robert Kirkman, and I came back to Marvel to do the Nightcrawler series, then Spider-Man and Silk, and now Deadpool. I do my work out of my studio, and I upload the the files to Marvel. So it's kind of a nice perk, is being able to work out of my own studio. And I'd say most comic book artists and writers do work out of their own studios all across the world. Let's see, any characters outside of Marvel and DC that you'd like to work on in the future that you haven't worked on yet? Um, hmm, that's a great question. Um, well, I did get to work in the Invincible universe. Those are characters outside of Marvel's and DC's universes. So I did do that for 2 years with Robert Kirkman, which was a lot of fun. Written by Phil Hester. So I know it'd probably be fun to draw some Tick. What was my favorite Teen Titans Go character to draw, and do I miss drawing the series? My favorite to draw, I like them all for different reasons. I would say probably Raven and Beast Boy are two of my favorites to draw. And Kid Flash. I wish we had done more stories with Kid Flash. Do I miss drawing the series? Yeah, I think I do. It was a really, really fun series to do. It was really well received. We got to do 55 issues, so yeah, I guess I do kind of miss it a little bit. Not as much as I miss drawing Young Justice, though. I think Young Justice holds an even deeper connection to me. But I think it was because we got to tell serialized stories, where Teen Titans Go were standalone stories. So we couldn't really progress the characters all that much. What do I think about Invincible ending? It's kind of bittersweet, you know. It's like it's been a great run. It'll be kind of weird to not have that book on my pull list anymore. But I can say that I've been with the series since issue 1. You'd love to see a Nightcrawler book with me drawing it? Well, you are in luck. You need to check out the 2014 Nightcrawler series. I drew every issue. It was written by Chris Claremont, and it was a lot of fun. All 12 issues are in trade paperback. That's Nightcrawler Reborn and Nightcrawler Homecoming. So race out to your local comic shop and snag those trades, and you will have your wish fulfilled. I loved drawing that series. I'm a big Nightcrawler fan. Been a fan of Nightcrawler since I was a kid, and grew up reading Chris Claremont comics. So getting to work with him was a career bucket list dream come true. What's my favorite Teen Titans character? If you're referring to like the cartoon, Raven and Beast Boy are two of my favorites, as well as Kid Flash. Will I ever go back to drawing Ben Riley? I don't know. I guess it's all, a lot of that's in Marvel's hands there. If they invited me to draw Ben Riley again, I would strongly consider it. Because Ben Riley is pretty awesome. Hey Travis, I think that's a question best asked of your legal representation. I can't answer questions quite like that, so thank you for asking, but I can't answer that question. How much practice did it take for me to get this good? It's been a process of study and learning all my life. So this is how well I draw at this stage, and I hope to continue to learn more and get even better from here. So it's been a process of evolution over the course of my artistic journey and career. So I don't know if I could say there was like a certain day that it just all of a sudden happened. It's been a continual process. And I hope that process continues. One thing I like about drawing Raven is that she's always so surly. Have I ever created original pieces, inks, canvases, not comic related? I think comic book art is original art. Whatever I create is an original piece. It's come out of my brain and onto the paper. But I think you're asking, have I created something other than comic book art? And not really. Not in the many years, because I love drawing comics and superheroes. So right now that has been my jam, as well as my bread and butter. So really, I have got quite a few of the food groups covered there. That's also my meat and potatoes. There we go. Nailed it. Wait. Jam has fruit in it, so yes, fruit, grain, dairy. I don't think I covered dairy. No, bread and butter. Butter. I did get dairy in there. So yes, all 4 food groups have been covered in that analogy. Larry Stucker, everyone, inker of Teen Titans Go and Young Justice. If Raven was a burrito, what kind of meat would she be? I'm not answering that question, Larry. I'm going to have to private message you after this if I don't block you. What kind of question is that? I don't even know where you'd come up with a question like that, Larry. But so glad you're here. So glad you're here. Everyone, make sure you follow Larry on the different social networks, especially I think on Twitter is one of his most public social media. You can find him, Larry Stucker. That's Larry with 1 R. Burrito question. I look forward to talking with you and finding out how you would come up with such a question. What am I inking this with? I'm inking this with a Pigma Micron pen here, the 08, right now. Still reeling from that burrito question. It's just crazy talk. And I don't talk crazy on my broadcasts. I don't talk crazy. Maybe a little silly, but not crazy. Oh, don't worry, Malik. If you missed the beginning, you can always go back and rewatch the broadcast. It stays on the page, so you can always go back and rewatch whichever episode you missed the beginning of, or want to rewatch as multiple times as you'd like. And this also should be on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube right now, Thanks so much for joining my channel. Hope you subscribed. Feel free to leave a thumbs up and a comment below, YouTubers. You're going to be Raven for Halloween? That's awesome. Any tips? Have fun. Have fun, I think would be the best tip. I mean, I think you're probably going to do great. You get the purple hair and the blue cape and the black tunic, and you're going to be set in the belt, multiple circle belt. You're gonna have a great time. Do I have any tips on becoming a comic artist? Yeah, draw sequential story art. That is the panel-to-panel storytelling that you see in comics. Start doing that. If you haven't started doing that yet, start today. Or tomorrow if necessary. That is critical. Because that is a bulk of what a comic book is storytelling. And it's like learning a language. So there's a lot to learn. It's not easy to do. So that's my first and biggest advice. Start telling stories if you're not telling stories yet. And practice every day. Where did I get this type of post-it note? Actually, this was a gift. This was a gift from a fan at New York Comic Con last year. Sonic_Ninja gave me these. It's the New York series of post-it notes. There was 2 shades of gray, a blue, a light blue, and a yellow. Let's see, do I give feedback on an artist's art? I do. I can sometimes at conventions. I'm not really able to do that so much online because I get so many requests for it, it becomes a full-time job. So it's very difficult for me to do that because of the sheer volume of requests to give critiques and pointers. It's kind of why I do my YouTube channel and these broadcasts and videos, so you can kind of learn some tips and tricks by watching what I do. So I sized down here to the 0-1 for some of the smaller details, especially in the eyes. All right, time for a little erasing. Got to pull very gently across the paper here so as not to crinkle it up. Since the paper is stuck to the artboard here, I pull down and away. Pull down, lift up, pull down again. If I rub back and forth, high risk of it wrinkling up, and that stinks. What's my YouTube channel? Todd Nauck. Go to youtube.com/Todd Nauck, and you can find a whole bunch of videos. In fact, a new Periscope broadcast went up on there today. I drew Hobgoblin. The Hobgoblin, easy for me to say, broadcast is up today. Yep, and I broadcast on Periscope as well. That's periscope.tv/Todd Nauck. Do I ever use the kneaded erasers? No, I've never felt the need. Get it? Yes! No, I've just kind of always been a block eraser kind of guy, and haven't used kneaded erasers since art school days. Not against kneaded erasers, I just kind of fell out of it. Alright, so let's start dropping in some color in here. So since she's kind of gray-skinned, and this is gray paper, I'm just going to jump right into rendering her the gray here using a cool gray 4 to start dropping in some shadows. Actually, it's a bit darker than I want, so I'm going to downgrade here to, let's try a cool gray 2. Yes, this is feeling much better. Who haven't I drawn? I I don't know. I've drawn a lot of characters, so to think who I haven't drawn, I don't even know if I could figure that out. Usually I don't realize I haven't drawn the character until someone asks me to draw them. So if someone says, "Hey, could you draw me?" They get to get to my table at a convention and they want to commission a sketch. Could you draw? I can't even think of it. Pear Degaton. Could you draw Pear Degaton for me? It's like, wow. Then I realize I have never drawn Pear Degaton. That is a Justice Society villain. I had to go really random there to find someone that I hadn't drawn. Oh, thank you, Brazil. Thanks for the hugs, and thanks for hosting the Olympics. It's been a great 2 weeks. Would I rather be a Jedi or a superhero? Interesting question. Very, very interesting question. Depends on which superhero. I mean, if I get to pick which superhero I want to be, then I would say I'd rather be a superhero than a Jedi. So I've got, let's see, and now I've come to some C Cool Gray 3 here to kind of just blend in and render out our girls' skin tones here. What would you rather be, superhero or Jedi? Am I excited for Long Beach Comic Con? Yes, Sean, I am. I will be there, and I'll be at table J2. So look forward to seeing you and Gavin. I'm assuming y'all will be there. Now a little BV34 here. Favorite inkers, colorists. Let's see. Well, since Larry's here, I guess I have to say Larry Stucker, but I would say Larry Stucker because we worked together for, how long has it been? Was it, Larry? About 14 years, I think we worked together. From Extreme Studios to Young Justice to Wild Guard to Teen Titans Go. Larry and I worked together for a long time, so he's one of my favorite inkers to have worked with. My favorite inkers to look at, Scott Williams, Dan Green, Norm Ratmond, who is also a good friend as well, Danny Mickey, colorists, Edgar Delgado, Rochelle Rosenberg, a lot of people that I've worked with, John Roush, Gabe El Taib, Marta Gracia. Haven't worked with Marta Gracia, but I like Marta's work. Who are some of y'all's favorite inkers and colorists? Oh, Larry confirmed there, yes. 14 years we worked together. 14 years. Once Larry left, I pretty much had to take on doing my own inks. And I now love it. So if Larry were to ever come back into the industry, he'd have to pry the inking tools from my cold, dead hands. But then I'd be dead and he wouldn't be able to ink my work. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation. And that's a little BV11 there. How can you get your work looked at a con? Approach publishers' booths and ask if they are doing portfolio reviews. Also check on their websites or social media to see if they have portfolio review guidelines or orientations. Oh, Klaus Janson, yes, he is a fantastic inker. I love Klaus's inks. I forgot about that one. Who is my favorite character at the moment? At Marvel, Kitty Pryde. At DC, Booster Gold. Those are my two favorite characters at this time. Little R24 here. Who's your favorite character at this time? Little V15 there into the eye. And a little BV34. See a little R20. I'm going to drop a little R20 here in the cheeks and in the nose. It's my turn to come to Comic-Con experience in Brazil. I'd love to come to that convention. Hopefully they'll invite me and my wife out someday. Harlequin? Right on, Michaela. I could see that. Since I've seen you cosplay as Harley and X-23 at a couple of the New York Comic-Cons. Let's see, let's color her cape. We'll start with some B14 here. And come in with some B12. And some B45 for some of the shadowy areas. Oh, you were Han Solo last year, Michaela? Did I not see you at last year's New York Comic Con? I'm pretty sure I'd have remembered if I had run into you as Han Solo. Of course, then again, all the conventions start to blur together, so we could have probably had a lovely conversation, and it has completely skipped my mind. So I apologize for that, if I did see you at New York. And hopefully I'll see all you East Coasters at New York Comic Con this October, because I will be there. Am I watching Stranger Things? Not yet. It's in my queue now that the Olympics is done. Now that I'm back from London, I hope to make the time to watch Stranger Things. So I've been avoiding spoilers. I got to avoid them for another week or so, and totally watch Stranger Things. If 11 is a character from Stranger Things, hopefully I'll have watched it by then. Otherwise, I will have to decline that commission request. But I should have watched it by then. Dropping a little cool gray 5 here. Hey gang, welcome back. I don't know what's going on with my internet connection here. It says it's weak, but I don't get it. The Olympics, I think, are ending today or tomorrow. So, yep, pretty much the Olympics are done. So let's see. Let's put a little N4, neutral gray 4, here in her collar of her bodysuit, I should specify. Oh, okay, you and your boyfriend did a gender swap. Han Solo and Leia, that's awesome. And you stopped by the day you weren't in costume. Right on. Yeah, yeah. New York Comic Con is very, very busy. The table does get swamped at that one. It is so highly attended. It's a great time, but yeah, it does get packed, doesn't it? So I'm putting a little cool gray 4 here in the eye because I'm going to do my white pencil trick. So that'll be a step for a little bit later on. Let's see what I need to do next. So let's start dropping in a background shade here. We're going to come in pretty dark. We'll go with neutral grays. We'll start with a neutral 6. Blend in from a neutral 5. So someone asked about, I think it was in a private message or a previous broadcast, how they can keep their gradations from looking so segmented, like each color. And then what I suggest is to pull from the darker color down. So that 5 went over the 6 I laid down and then into the color of the paper. And now with this 4, I'm coming from the 6 into the 5 into the open spot of the paper. And then with the 3, I'll do the same. So it's always layering that color and blending those colors down. Can I draw Darth Vader in the next broadcast? I don't know. It's probably, definitely a character I'll keep in mind, but I can't make any promises that he'll be the character I draw in the next broadcast. And a little neutral 2. Are there any current series that I'd like to do art for? Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, because then I could draw my gal Kitty Pryde. That's that would be a fun book to do, and then I'd also get to draw Rocket and Groot and Star-Lord, which are all cool characters as well. Now I've gotten to draw Rocket and Groot in my Deadpool series, Deadpool 2 soon. Shameless plug, in effect. You can catch Deadpool 2 soon in comic shops on October 19th. And if you read your comics digitally, you can be reading Deadpool 2 soon right now. Chapter 4 just released onto Comixology this past Wednesday. So, and if you, I think the sale is still going on. You can read the first issue for 50 cents if you enter the code word START at checkout. So something to keep in mind there. But if you read your comics in print, then you will want to add that to your pull list so you don't miss it on October 19th. So, all right, now let's see. Let's put a little more blue here in the cape. Back to the B12. And let's see, where's my watercolor pencil? Here it is. So, that gray I'd put in the eye there, well, now I'll go over that with watercolor pencil to lighten it up, and it gives a rounded shape to the eyeball. Put some little highlights on the nose and cheeks there. Put a white highlight in the hair here. I like using watercolor pencil here for this type of stuff because then it doesn't overpower the piece. It's nice and subtle. And a white highlight cutting down through the collar of her bodysuit there. I'm a mutant. That's the only way to explain my ability to talk and draw at the same time. Yep, that sounds about right. And I think my art instructors at Art Institute would probably agree. I would always get in trouble for talking while drawing in my art class, disturbing my fellow students. So now I'm using the Uniball Signo white gel pen. That's the Uniball Signo white gel pen. I get this at jetpens.com or my local art supply store. Am I coming to the this October to the comic book convention this year? Which convention are you referring to there, Pedro? If it's New York Comic Con, if that's the one you're referring to, then the answer is yes. I will be at New York Comic Con. If it's in the other convention, I probably will not be there. I think New York is the only October con that I'm doing this year. Oh, Charlotte? No, unfortunately, I will not be in Charlotte in October. Not this year, at least. Now for some highlights in the eye and on her gem. And now to autograph it. Have I got my con list for next year? No, not yet. Have not put together my 2017 tour dates yet. But I am starting to field invites from different conventions and cities, so we'll see how things look. What day is today? Is today the 21st? No, today's the 20th, isn't it? I always forget what day it is. Pulling up my iPad here. Where's my calendar? 20th, yes, 20th of August. Excellent. There we go. Raven. So, thanks for tuning in, gang. Thanks for joining me for the art broadcast. I'll flip around here, the camera around, and I'm not personally going to flip around here. I mean, I have been watching a lot of gymnastics on the Olympics, but there's no way I could do that without killing myself. I will flip the camera around and answer a few of the questions. I know I missed a lot of the questions, so we'll see what I can answer, and then we'll call it a broadcast. So feel free to stick around and prep your questions if you got them, and I'll see what I can do here. Let's cover any of the questions y'all might have there. Let's see. How do you get me to the KC Comic Con in August of next year? Let the promoters of your convention know the creators you'd like to see, and the more of y'all that can in your city that can say we want this person, the more your convention is more than likely willing to go, hey, our attendees want this person. If that person will get our attendees in, we'll bring them out. Have I ever drawn Bob Ross? I have not, but I should consider that sometime. I should consider that. You're interested in my version of Loki? I'll have to consider drawing a Loki sometime. Any other questions here? Let's see. Maybe I should scroll back through the feed here. See if I missed anything. Do I find it easier to draw a smaller scale or bigger? Depends on the art stage. If I'm doing like the layout of a page or a pose, I like to work small. I like to work really small. I mean, seriously small. Scan that in, blow it up, and then I render it larger. So by the time I get to my inking stage, like let's see, I got a page from Deadpool 2 #1. I can show this because it's already been on Comixology. Then I like to work 11 by 17 so I can get all the teeny tiny little details in there. So I do like to work larger when I get to the ink stage. But when I'm working on the layouts, I like to work really small because then I can encapsulate the whole page in one view shot there. So I usually work at my layout stage about 1 inch by 2 inches, so it's really tiny. That is why I use such a small point mechanical pencil, the 0.3 lead. It is so fine of a point. I'm able to get those teeny tiny details in my sketch stage, and it doesn't muddy up too much like the 0.5. How do you get me to critique your pages at Emerald City Comic Con? Stop by my table and check to see if I'm doing critiques that day. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. It all depends on what's going on and what my responsibilities are for the day. Usually it's towards the end of the day at the convention. So stop by my table and ask. And you can do that with most any creator if you just ask politely. If they're available, some will say yes, some will say no. And if they say no, just move on to the next person. And yeah. What scanner do I use to scan 11x17's drawings? My enormous 11x17 scanner. I have was that an Epson? Yeah, it's an Epson scanner, and it is enormous. When will I do another 9x12 sketch broadcast? I did one 2 days ago. I did the watercolors for this Harlequin piece on Periscope. It's still up there, so you can go check it out. So this is a 9x12 broadcast that was just a few days ago. And that illustration will be up on my YouTube channel in the near future. How long does it usually take for me to do a page? It averages about 1 day. From layout to pencils to inks, I average about 1 page a day. When am I coming to Australia for a con? I hope it's soon. I hope it's soon. Hopefully as early as next spring would be awesome. Love to come to the Supernova cons. So hopefully that'll happen soon. Am I still shopping around for a digital art device? I plan to. Right now I'm focused on Deadpool. I got to get this done, and then I hope to see what the best digital device is for me for doing some digital drawing. Right now I'm leaning towards the Cintiq companion. I hear there's a new Cintiq companion coming out, so that might be my time to get the latest model. But we'll see. I still want to experiment more with the Surface Pro 4. The iPad Pro right now is falling behind in number 3. It just doesn't offer the programs that I need to do what I want to do. Do I watch Clone Wars? Not yet. I think it's on Netflix and it's in my queue, but so much is in my queue I haven't had time to watch it yet. What's coming up after Deadpool? We'll find out after Deadpool. Right now my focus is on Deadpool, so and that's all I can talk about right now. But as soon as I'm allowed to talk about future projects, you'll find out here on all my social networks, Facebook fan page, Twitter, toddnauck.com, my YouTube channel, different hand motions to convey. That news will come down the pike as soon as I'm allowed to talk about it. So gang, I want to say thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with me, for joining me for my cool down sketch. This will be posted on my social networks probably tomorrow. So make sure you're following me on all my different social networks and you can see photo of this, and if you're on Facebook, follow me. Go ahead and like me here on my Art of Todd Nauck Facebook page. If it's your first time to catch one of my shows, go ahead and just click like so that you're always in the know. And I have an album of Post-it note sketches here on my Facebook page. I'm closing in on 300 Post-it note sketches. So so give it a look. You can see the evolution of my Post-it note sketches. Yeah, thanks again for tuning in. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching on YouTube. I appreciate the support. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And thanks for all the comments, likes, and shares here on Facebook, gang. You guys are awesome. So great spending time with y'all. Hope y'all have a great weekend. And I'll talk to y'all later. All the best.